Good morning. I thought I would take you outside because there is just so much green just popping up everywhere. So I thought I would give you a little tour to see all the wonderful goodness that's springing from the earth. See the little buds? This is a little crabapple tree that actually my husband and I, it almost got knocked down. But he discovered it as they were clearing the yard for the house. And he's like, no, we got to leave this here. And so we've just kind of left it here. And actually, you know what? We have been here 10 years. And last year was the first time it actually got flowers and produced a little bit of fruit. This little tree might look kind of pathetic to some, but it was literally a dead twig. And it has been growing now for approximately maybe 5 years. So, hey, it's becoming a tree, or at least it's looking like a tree. And it has little buds on there too. This is another little bush. You know what? I really do have the names of these, but I just don't remember them. They're somewhere in the house written down. But this was another one that was just a twig stuck in the ground. Actually, we stuck it in a little pot and started growing it that way. And this is the same age as the other tree. And this is really starting, this gets a little flower on it actually. And here's another little tree. This, I believe, is a type of maple. And then this tree over here is also one that we planted in. And all these that I'm showing you here started just as a twig in a pot. But this one's really, I think this one might be a tulip. I can't remember now. And I realize that most of you, your lilac bushes have already been in bloom, but mine is just really going to be coming into bloom. As you can see, they're just now starting to. We have a later growing season. I think I might have mentioned before that we cannot even begin to plant until the week of Memorial Day. These are just some, I believe they're irises that we had transplanted here, and we had, you know how they just multiply and multiply. Well, we had so many, I had to thin them out, and I didn't know what to do with them, and I was so tired of planting that I actually just threw them back here. And look at, this was a couple years ago, and they just started taking off. And this is a little dogwood tree that we planted in the front yard, and this also was just a twig. It stood about one stick. It stood about 10 inches high, and we stuck it in a pot, and we just, we stuck it in a pot, and we just kind of took care of it, and along with the other ones, and this is what it became. And as you can see, it's getting its little leaves. And that little plant in this little bucket here is a bleeding heart. And this bleeding heart, when we do move, this will go with me, because what I did is I divided it in half. I planted half in this bucket at my house, and the other half I planted at my son's gravesite. So it's just kind of precious to me. But as you can see, it's blooming. I hope you enjoyed seeing all that green outside. It just does my heart so good to see everything turning green and just coming back into life, and all the beauty that God has given us here on this earth. It just does something for my soul. And I did want to take a moment and talk a little bit about what I had read on a friend's Facebook post. And when I was reading the Facebook post, I went to her YouTube channel and I watched her channel, her video, and I was reading the comments that were being made. And luckily the comments were all very positive, but the subject matter that she was dealing with on her video just really, it saddened me and it disappointed me that this lady had to even address this issue. And it's just very sad to see people that are so judgmental and so opinionated. And you know what? Opinions, we all have one, but they're neither right nor are they wrong, because they're just opinions. And I like what Romans chapter 14 verse 1 in the English Standard Version says. As for the one who is weak in faith, welcome him, but not to quarrel over opinions. I think that this lady did a fabulous job in not quarreling over this person's opinion that was negative towards her. But she did a wonderful job of explaining her position. And I think that that is a tribute to her faith and her integrity. You know, Galatians chapter 1 verse 10 says, For I am now seeking the approval of man or of God, or am I trying to please man? If I were still trying to please man, I would not be a servant of Christ. I think that's another one that we need to remember. We don't need to worry about the approval of other men's opinions of us. What matters is what God thinks of us. And one more that I wanted to share is actually also in Romans, and it's chapter 14, and it's verse 10. It says, Why do you pass judgment on your brother? Or you, why do you despise your brother? For we will all stand before the judgment seat of God. For it is written, As I live, says the Lord, every knee shall bow to me, and every tongue shall confess to God. So then each of us will give an account to himself, of himself, to God. Therefore, let us not pass judgment on one another any longer, but rather decide never to put a stumbling block or hindrance in the way of a brother. And you know, I realize that Paul is speaking to Christian brothers and sisters, but truly, are we not all brothers and sisters in the human family, in the family of all of us being made in the image of God? And I realize that there are people out there that do not believe in God, and that's fine. That is their right. God gave them that right. They might not understand that, they might not believe that, but that is truth. But why can't people be nice? Why can't people just accept people for the way they are? They're good, they're bad, they're ugly, they're differences. What does it matter? How is it in the world going to make a difference in your own life when you're talking to people on Facebook and YouTube? Just needed to put my rant in there. So anyways, just want to remind you, life happens. Let's enjoy it. And let's be careful. And I really believe that we need to keep in mind what I said yesterday about love. So God bless, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.